Every NFL conspiracy theory explained in 20 minutes. We've got 20 minutes to blitz through the wildest NFL conspiracy theories that spark endless barstool debates. From the controversial Tuck rule to Peyton Manning's storybook farewell in Super Bowl 50, these stories have fueled fan chatter for years. Let's huddle up and find out, because these conspiracies aren't going anywhere. Number 8, 1972. Dolphins. Did the NFL help protect their perfect season? To this day, the 1972 Miami Dolphins remain the only team in NFL history to notch a perfect season from start to finish, capping it with a win in Super Bowl VII over Washington. The conspiratorial buzz revolves around whether the NFL supposedly protected Miami's run by giving them a relatively soft schedule and favorable officiating calls. According to historical records, the combined record of Miami's opponents was notably weak, just 70 wins, 122 losses, and 4 ties, which has fueled the claim that the league orchestrated an easier path. Moreover, rumors suggest that officiating during key games leaned in the Dolphins' favor, ensuring the NFL could showcase a history-making storyline. While players like Earl Morrall, filling in for an injured Bob Grease, and Larry Csonka still had to perform on the field, skeptics argue the deck was subtly stacked. Yet the official stance, then and now, is that scheduling operates on a rotating formula, not a nefarious plot. NFL Films' coverage of the 1972 season emphasizes that Miami faced real adversity, including losing Greasy for much of the year, and still had to execute under pressure. The truth? Most historians believe the Dolphins' unrivaled cohesion and top-tier defense deservedly carried them to 17-0. Head coach Don Shula's meticulous approach and a balanced offense, averaging over 25 points per game, made them formidable regardless of schedule strength. If the NFL had truly orchestrated a perfect season, it likely wouldn't have been as dramatic. But for die-hard conspiracy theorists, an undefeated season remains prime fodder for claims of league favoritism. Number 7, the Tuck rule. The Tuck rule is the NFL's equivalent of Bigfoot. Some swear it's a myth, while others insist it was spotted in the 2001 AFC divisional playoff between the New England Patriots and the Oakland Raiders. The game was played in a swirling New England snowstorm on January 19, 2002. With less than 2 minutes left, Raiders cornerback Charles Woodson blitzed Tom Brady, dislodging the ball. Oakland recovered, seemingly sealing the game. But officials invoked the Tuck rule, declaring it an incomplete pass since Brady was purportedly in the act of tucking the ball back toward his body, negating a fumble. Under Rule 3, Section 22, Article 2, Note 2 of the old NFL rulebook, if the quarterback's arm is moving forward, any loss of possession is an incomplete pass, even if he starts to bring the ball back in. While that was the letter of the law, many argue that the spirit of the rule wasn't applied correctly. According to ESPN's coverage at the time, the referees reviewed the play and insisted it was the correct call, but critics believe the NFL was eager to see a dynasty dawn in New England. Conspiracy theories suggest the league wanted a major market success story post-September 11th with a wholesome underdog quarterback, Brady, leading the way. Of course, that's all speculation. Officially, the NFL stuck by the ruling. Nevertheless, the Tuck rule came under such heavy fire that it was abolished in 2013. Brady himself has joked that it may have been a fumble. Even former referee Mike Pereira admitted the rule was complicated, though he stood by the decision at the time. In all seriousness, the Tuck rule game launched a Patriots dynasty that went on to win Super Bowl 36 that season. In hindsight, this single controversial call changed the NFL landscape. Without it, the Raiders might have advanced. Instead, the Patriots won in overtime, 16-13. Conspiracy or just a quirky old rule? You decide. But be warned, Raiders fans still haven't let this one go. Before we move on to the next one in the list, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you're enjoying this content so far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch these videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Thanks to all of you who do. Number 6, Spygate. If the NFL had a drama series, Spygate would be the Season 1 shocker. In 2007, the New England Patriots, and especially head coach Bill Belichick, were found to be videotaping the New York Jets' defensive signals from an unauthorized location. According to the NFL's subsequent investigation, the act violated league policy on in-game signal collection. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell wasted no time. Belichick was fined $500,000, the Patriots organization was fined $250,000, and they forfeited a 2008 first-round draft pick. The punishment was harsh, but the conspiracy conspiracies that followed were even harsher. Some claimed the Patriots had been doing this for years, fueling their run of 3 Super Bowl titles in 4 seasons: 2001, 2003, and 2004. Others alleged that New England even taped the St. Louis Rams' walkthrough before Super Bowl 36, though the NFL stated there was no evidence of that. The tapes from the scandal were famously destroyed by the NFL shortly after being turned over. This fueled speculation that the league wanted to hide something far bigger. Critics argued Belichick's brilliance was tainted, while Patriots fans retorted that every NFL team attempts to read signals. New England just got caught using a camera from the wrong vantage point. Remember, stealing signals in itself isn't illegal in the NFL. The method of recording them is. According to numerous news outlets, including the Boston Globe, Belichick believed he was working within a gray area of the rules. Goodell clearly disagreed. On a pure football level, the scandal overshadowed an incredible season where the Patriots nearly went undefeated, losing only in Super Bowl 42 to the New York Giants. Some fans believe that had New England gone 19-0, it would have validated how little the videotaping scheme mattered. Opponents, on the other hand, see the perfect storm of success and controversy as proof that something fishy was going on. Like most controversies, we'll never know every detail. The NFL stands by its punishment, and Belichick continues to downplay the significance of Spygate. Whether it was a mere error in judgment or a bigger sign of systematic rule-breaking depends on who's telling the story. Conspiracy or no conspiracy, Spygate remains one of the most talked about episodes in modern NFL history. Number 5. Goodell versus Brady, Deflategate. Move over, spy cams. Here come underinflated footballs. Deflategate burst onto the scene after the 2014 AFC Championship game between the Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts. New England dominated, winning 45-7, but the storyline afterward revolved around the pressure levels of the Patriots footballs. According to ESPN, 11 of 12 Patriots footballs measured below the league's required minimum of 12.5 psi at halftime. The NFL, led by Commissioner Roger Goodell, launched an investigation. Independent attorney Ted Wells compiled a 243-page report suggesting it was more probable than not that Tom Brady was at least generally aware that team staff had released air from the footballs. The penalty? A 4-game suspension for Brady, a $1 million fine for the Patriots, and the loss of 2 draft picks, including a 2016 first-rounder. Fans immediately cried conspiracy. Patriots loyalists claimed Goodell was out to get Brady, referencing the harsh Spygate punishment. Others insisted the NFL wanted to create parity by hobbling its most successful franchise. Brady appealed, leading to a high-stakes legal battle that reached federal court. Initially, a district court judge nullified the suspension, citing issues with due process. Goodell appealed, and the suspension was ultimately reinstated in 2016 by the U.S. Court of Appeals. Some argue that Deflategate was less about ball inflation and more about Goodell asserting his disciplinary power after criticisms he was soft on issues like domestic violence or inconsistent with punishments. Remember, the NFL famously destroyed evidence quickly in Spygate, so cynics weren't buying that everything here was a straightforward push for competitive fairness. Adding to the drama, the official NFL rule states that teams are responsible for the integrity of the footballs, which left little wiggle room for the Patriots to deny wrongdoing. From a statistical standpoint, whether underinflated footballs provide an advantage remains up for debate. Brady's second-half performance in that 2014 AFC title game, when the footballs had presumably been reinflated, was arguably stronger than the first. Deflategate overshadowed the Patriots' eventual Super Bowl 49 victory over the Seattle Seahawks that year. Brady missed the first 4 games of the 2016 season, then led New England to a historic comeback win in Super Bowl 51 against the Atlanta Falcons. If Goodell aimed to tarnish Brady's legacy, you'd be hard-pressed to find evidence in the ring count. Nonetheless, Deflategate remains a prime example of how the NFL can transform a mundane detail like PSI into front-page news and spark countless conspiracy theories about league politics. Number 4. Super Bowl 36 Rams vs. Patriots, February 3, 2002 in New Orleans. The heavily favored Rams, nicknamed the greatest show on turf for their prolific offense, took on the rising New England Patriots in Super Bowl 36. The Rams, featuring the dynamic duo of Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk, were expected to run circles around a young Tom Brady. On paper, it was supposed to be a mismatch, but the Patriots stunned the football world, winning 20-17 on Adam Vinatieri's last-second field goal. So, where's the conspiracy? Critics highlight the allegations that New England illegally videotaped the Rams' walkthrough the day before the game, a rumor that gained traction in the wake of Spygate. Sports Illustrated and the Boston Herald ran stories suggesting there may have been illicit footage. The NFL launched an investigation and officially found zero evidence that the Patriots taped the Rams. The Boston Herald eventually retracted its story, but for some fans, the story still resonates, especially Rams supporters who believe that their team looked oddly flat in the first half. Another angle focuses on a post-September 11th narrative. Some claim the league wanted a patriotic underdog named the Patriots to capture the country's imagination and give America a feel-good storyline. The game took place just months after the attacks, and the national sentiment was riding high on themes of unity and resilience. Seeing the Patriots lift the Lombardi Trophy certainly fit a neat patriotic script. However, no credible source has indicated that the NFL orchestrated anything. The more likely explanation: the Patriots simply outplayed the Rams with a brilliant defensive scheme devised by head coach Bill Belichick. Statistically, the Rams racked up 427 total yards to the Patriots' 267, but turnovers and timely stops sealed the deal for New England. Brady's game-winning drive with no timeouts remains legendary. According to NFL Films, it marked the first Super Bowl to be decided on the final play. In the end, official investigations declared the victory legitimate, yet the seeds of conspiracy were planted and would only grow in the years to come, especially when Spygate forced fans to revisit the earliest chapters of New England's success. For many, Super Bowl 36 kicked off an era of Patriot dominance, one that's become inseparable from swirling rumors and controversies. Number 3. 2012 Saints Bountygate. Let's shift gears from Foxborough to the Big Easy. Bountygate rocked the NFL when the league announced in 2012 that the New Orleans Saints had allegedly operated a pay-for-performance program from 2009 to 2011, offering cash bonuses for card-off hits. Greg Williams, then the Saints' defensive coordinator, was reportedly at the center of it. According to the NFL's investigation, money changed hands for big plays, such as forced fumbles and sacks. But the scandal escalated when it was alleged that players might have been rewarded for injuring opponents. Commissioner Goodell came down swinging. Head coach Sean Payton was suspended for the entire 2012 season, the first head coach suspension in NFL history. Williams was suspended indefinitely, later reinstated. General manager Mickey Loomis served an 8-game suspension, and the Saints were slapped with hefty fines and lost second-round draft picks. The official line was that such a bounty system was a clear violation of player safety rules and the league's integrity. But the conspiracy chatter. Some fans argued that what the Saints did was no different from the usual big-hit celebrations in locker rooms across the league, implying New Orleans was scapegoated. Others pointed out that the NFL was dealing with mounting legal concerns about concussions and needed to show they took player safety seriously. Nailing a single team, the theory goes, was a convenient way to prove the league's tough stance. Much of the evidence came from internal league documents and statements from NFL investigators. Saints linebacker Jonathan Vilma was initially suspended for the entire 2012 season, but he later sued Goodell for defamation. Vilma's punishment was eventually vacated, along with suspensions for other Saints players, after Paul Tagliabue, Goodell's predecessor as commissioner, reviewed the case and decided the coaches and organization held greater responsibility than the individual players. One of the bigger conspiratorial takes is that Bountygate was a smokescreen for the NFL to handle growing safety criticisms without tackling the deeper problem of league-wide head injuries. Whether you buy that or not, the scandal underscores how defensive aggression can cross a line. The Saints insisted it was a misunderstood performance pool, not a bounty system. But the fines, suspensions, and tarnished reputations tell a different story. Bountygate remains a stark reminder of the NFL's power to enforce discipline, and the swirling theories about whether some teams are made examples for the league's broader agenda. Number 2. Super Bowl 47 Blackout. The 2013 Super Bowl at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans featured the Baltimore Ravens facing the San Francisco 49ers. With the Ravens leading 28-6 early in the third quarter, the stadium's power partially cut out, plunging half the dome into darkness. The game halted for about 34 minutes, leaving tens of millions of viewers at home scratching their heads and fueling instant conspiracies. The official explanation? A device installed to monitor electrical load sensed an abnormality and triggered a breaker. Stadium officials and local utility company Entergy publicly apologized, stating it was a technical glitch, not sabotage. But that didn't stop fans from theorizing. Some believed the NFL orchestrated the outage to halt the Ravens' momentum and spark a dramatic comeback. Remarkably, after the lights returned, the 49ers scored 17 unanswered points, tightening the game to 28-23, eventually losing 34-31. The sudden shift in momentum seemed too perfect to be coincidence. Commentators joked about Beyoncé's halftime show blowing out the electricity, though the show ended well before the blackout. Others pointed to alleged financial motives, perhaps an attempt to keep viewers tuned in for a closer finish. Officially, the league denied any such plot. Commissioner Goodell dismissed the conspiracies, stating the downtime was an unfortunate accident. Technically, the idea that the NFL would flip a switch to help ratings is a stretch. The Super Bowl is the most watched television event in America anyway. Plus, if the NFL wanted suspense, they wouldn't risk the confusion, potential injuries from dim lighting, or the negative PR overshadowing the big game. Nonetheless, the timing was suspicious. CBS's broadcast team had to scramble for filler commentary, and the abrupt shift in momentum was real. From a purely statistical viewpoint, the 49ers offense woke up and nearly staged a historic comeback in those final quarters. Even years later, the Blackout Bowl remains a prime example of how quickly fans will link a bizarre event to a grand NFL conspiracy. Did it happen to spice up the game, or was it really just a freak technical glitch? The official version is firmly the latter, but skeptics and 49ers fans might argue otherwise over a pint at the sports bar. Number 1. Super Bowl 50 scripted? Peyton Manning's farewell. Finally, we arrive at the big one. Was Super Bowl 50 rigged to give Peyton Manning a storybook send-off? On February 7th, 2016, the Denver Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers 24-10, crowning Manning a champion in what proved to be his final NFL game. Despite Manning's struggles during the regular season, he battled foot injuries and was briefly benched for Brock Osweiler. The Broncos' top-ranked defense smothered the Panthers' MVP quarterback Cam Newton. Here's the conspiracy angle. The NFL, so the theory goes, wanted one of its all-time greats to ride into the sunset with a Lombardi trophy. Manning was a 5-time MVP, a future Hall of Famer, and the ultimate pitchman face for the league. A second ring would cement his legacy. So, some suspect, the refs gave Denver favorable calls, and the league orchestrated an outcome that was more about the narrative than the X's and O's. Statistically speaking, the Broncos' defense was the real star, forcing Newton into repeated mistakes, including multiple sacks by Super Bowl MVP Von Miller. Carolina's powerful offense, which led the league with 31.3 points per game that season, was held to just 10 points. The Zebras did throw some flags, but no official analysis has suggested lopsided officiating. The NFL, of course, denies any suggestion of a fixed game. If you're hunting for suspicious facts, there aren't many beyond the emotional storyline of Manning's potential last hurrah. Even though Manning wasn't at his peak, he finished the game 13 of 23 for 141 yards, no passing touchdowns, and 1 interception. His team's defensive dominance was widely lauded. Insiders from ESPN to NFL.com credited Denver's pass rush and coverage, not any clandestine league directive, for the outcome. In the end, Peyton announced his retirement a month later, capping a legendary career with a final ring. Does it make a Hollywood ending? Absolutely. Is it evidence of a grand conspiracy? There's never been any credible sign of that. But if you're at a Super Bowl party and want to rile up some conversation, just drop a "yeah, but it was rigged for Peyton" line. You'll get an instant debate. And there you have it, the NFL's most talked about conspiracy theories unraveled. From questionable calls and videotapes to underinflated footballs and mysterious blackouts, these tales define the most passionate debates in pro football. We hope you found this video helpful and a little entertaining. Thanks for sticking with us through these wild rides down the NFL's rumor mill. If you love detailed breakdowns with plenty of history, drama, and good old-fashioned football talk, subscribe to the channel so you never miss out. Until next time, stay fired up, folks.